Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, just checking in.
All is well. I think we are ready to go.
Enjoy your
It's like that's
session.
what I want to hear.
Yeah, enjoy your session.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone that has joined. We are going to get started. Luminary has us on a very tight schedule today with all the amazing virtual office hours opportunities you guys have. So I am going to get started. If at any time you have a question, please feel free to drop it in the chat. I'll prompt a few times that if you want to unmute and ask a question, I'll create opportunities for that as well. And then, of course, at the end, I'm definitely going to leave a little bit of time to ask me anything. So let's jump into 3 savvy ways to cultivate leadership confidence and presence. So a little bit about me. My name is Myra Shaw. I am also known as Maven Myra. A maven is simply someone that shares their knowledge with others. And that is really all the work that I get to do with leadership development as a business strategist, a keynote speaker, podcaster, author, and my most important and fun title, I say that I'm a sassy hope cultivator. I think that's what keeps us going. So here's something I want you to do before I forget to tell you. These sessions are being recorded, at least mine are. And if you want to receive a replay of this session or any of my other 4 sessions, drop your email in the chat. I'll save that and then we'll be sending out, Luminary is not recording, but I'm going to be recording, and I will send you a copy of those replays. So again, if you want to receive a copy of the replay, simply drop your email in the chat and I'll be sure and get those to you. Final request, if you will scan the QR code, that's how you can get connected with me and stay connected to me. You'll be able to request me as a speaker, schedule a free chat with me, whatever that looks like for you. No fear, I'll show this screen at the end of the presentation again as well. So again, scanning this QR code gives you all the ways that that you will be able to connect with me. Thank you. I'm going to make sure that I have this saved to receive all of the emails here. Excellent. All right, let's first start with a quick breathing exercise. If you will, simply close your eyes for me. If you're driving, please keep your eyes open. I want us to just take 3 really deep breaths. I know as women and men, if you're joining us, we have a lot going on. Most of you are probably doing multiple things right now. So I want to encourage you to focus in, give this your full attention and energy. So if you will, close your eyes, take a deep breath in. Your belly should be filling up like a balloon, and then exhale. All right. Let's do 2 more of those. Deep breath in and out. And your final breath, deep breath in and out. All right, let's jump into this. So this session is really to help leaders and business founders learn how to infuse sassiness into their leadership style. Now, sassiness for you might not look like sassiness for me. I have a pretty sassy personality. If that's not your thing, sassiness is whatever you bring to the table. So I don't want you to feel like sassiness has to look like what I'm going to be talking about and from my personality. So apply what that looks like for you. Again, if you missed the very beginning, if you have a question at any time, feel free to drop it in the chat. I have the chat screen open and we'll be keeping an eye out for those. So let's talk about this first way of cultivating your leadership and confidence present. Number 1, development, continuous learning and skill development. That is one of the greatest ways to continue to build your confidence is to continue learning. That doesn't necessarily mean only formal learning. You're back in school getting your advanced degrees or whatever that looks like. That could be learning something new on YouTube or any of the digital platforms, Teachable, that shares all of the different ways that you're learning something. Maybe you're looking on LinkedIn and using their digital learning platform. So whatever that learning looks like for you and your skill development, that could be personal development, your leadership development, continuous learning helps to build your confidence. And that confidence leads to a greater presence when you are presenting to your team. Maybe you're presenting as a founder, whatever that looks like. When you're confident in what you're saying, that's going to help you have more confidence. All right. Number 2, mindset. Deny perfectionism a place to flourish in your mind. Drop a number 1 in the chat if perfectionism is something that you struggle with sometimes. Drop the number 1 in the chat if perfectionism is something that you struggle with a little bit. Trust me, you are not alone if that is something you struggle with. All right. Thank you for that. Now, here's a little tip that I have for you that I tell my clients all the time. I want you to replace the word, the thoughts, the mindset around perfectionism with delivering excellence. Okay. So when that voice comes up in your head and stalls your actions, that perfectionism, I want you to remember Maven Myra said, I should replace that thought process with delivering excellence. And what does that mean? For me, delivering excellence means delivering the best I have right where I am, delivering the best you have right where you are. Now, does that mean you won't have flaws, mistakes? It doesn't mean that. Excellent means I'm doing the best that I can with what I have for today, for this very moment, for this presentation, for this pitch, whatever that looks like in the moment. So let me know, how does that sound? You think you can work with starting to insert delivering excellence in place of perfection? Drop a yes or no if you're not there yet in the chat, just to let me know, how are you feeling about working to use the thought, the mindset of delivering excellence in place of it has to be perfect? I love that. Thank you. Is it 8 Asaya?
Asha.
Asha Blue. I love that name. Asha Blue. Thank you. Take that suggestion. Remember, perfectionism is one of those things that works to stall us. If you, let's say, are writing a book and you are not confident that there is not a typo, a comma out of place, the cover needs, one more tweak, whatever that looks like, then you are not delivering that into the world. Perfectionism says, no, there's one more thing I got to do. I need to look at this. I need to check it for the 500th time. Perfection serves to keep you stalled, to keep you from delivering the thing that you are created to do. We're going to be talking about what that looks like a little bit for our 3rd strategy on cultivating leadership confidence and presence. So I love it. Remember, we're going to be working to reset our mindset around perfectionism with using I can deliver excellence. And I believe that we can deliver excellence at any time, because we're delivering the best we have with what we have right now. All right. Now let's move to the 3rd one. 3rd sassy way to cultivate leadership confidence: belief. We need what you, yes, you, I'm pointing at you. We need what you have, not the duplicate of what someone else has. I know in our current society, when you think about social platforms and how we sometimes view that, we are looking at what someone else is doing. There's some positive to that. I'm not saying you shouldn't do any of that, but we can't allow that thought process, that belief that what someone else is doing we have to try to replicate that. The world is waiting on what you have as a corporate or executive leader, as a business owner, as a nonprofit leader, as a social enterprise leader. We need what you have. You have something unique. Your unique value proposition is what the world needs. I often say, everyone is not waiting for Maven Myra. Someone is waiting for you. And we need what you have. A quick story. One of my friends, this has to be maybe about 12 years ago, that I was just starting hosting live events for women. And a friend of mine said, Myra, imagine if you were not doing what you were created to do, imagine how many women you'd be holding up in the world. And I felt like she literally sat a ton of bricks on my shoulders, because I thought, well, what a weight to have to carry. But here's the fact of the matter. That is the truth. I now reframe that. And when I feel like I'm frustrated, I've gotten multiple no's, it feels like I'm not making progress. And that feeling of quitting, it happens, ladies, to the best of us, to those that are experienced, that have been in this work longer. That feeling of throwing in the towel happens. So I want you to hear me say that, because I don't want you to feel like, because I'm the presenter or other rooms you pop into, that we as presenters and speakers don't feel that sometimes. It's a very real thing. But that phrase that she told me, that question, that statement she made, keeps me going. Myra, if I quit, who am I holding up? Who am I not going to be cultivating hope in? Who am I not going to be sharing strategies with so that they can release their unique thing into the world? So I want you to know that you don't have to do your sassy leadership like me. I want you to do it like you. What's your thing? We don't need another way that Myra does it. We need how you are going to deliver and show up in the world, because I'm doing my part. I've got this piece covered, but I need what you are going to do. So drop in the chat for me or unmute and share. What's one way that you feel like you have a unique way of showing up in the world, in your leadership, in your presence? What's something unique that you feel you bring? It doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm not going to share mine because it's not big enough or not great enough. Whatever that is, you can unmute and share it with me. Miss Stacy, are you ready to share? I see you came on camera. Good morning.
I actually came on a little late and I didn't
You're
mean
fine.
to come on camera. So I missed everything you talked about
You
so
are
far.
totally fine. Well, welcome to the room.
Thank
Welcome
you.
to the room. So one of the things I'm asking ladies and gentlemen, if there are any in our room, to share is, what is one unique way that you feel like you show up with your confidence, your leadership confidence, or your presence, whatever that looks like or feels like for you. One of the ways I'll share that I feel very confident, you see my red lip? That's my thing. I know when I put on a red lip, we are ready to go to work. Another way is for me to really be myself, be the sassy Myra that I am. And you know what? It works whether I'm speaking for a church group or a corporate function, right? Me being sassy, that's my personality, and I can infuse that into anything that I do. So if you would like to share, feel free to come off of mute or drop it in the chat.
I wear a bright yellow jacket and I go out and say I can kill the world. It's
I
usually the
love it.
color I wear.
I love it. That's your power color, your bright yellow. And really for me, it really, red is my favorite color, but the red lip, you'll see most of my photos that I take and all that, we're doing a red lip. And when I'm speaking, I call that it's go time. There's going to be some pop of color, a red lip, a purple lip, something that kind of gives me that extra energy. So
So
those,
Myra,
yeah, yeah.
hi, good
Good
morning.
morning.
Thank you for leading the workshop, first of all. For me, yeah, I love red lipstick as well. And
Yes,
however, honestly, for me, it's my smile. I make sure that, that if I am going out there, that I have the positive attitude and I smile. I
I
think
love it.
that kind of breaks down some of the barriers and it forces my audience to smile back at me because they
I
feel kind of foolish if I'm smiling and they're
right,
not. So,
absolutely.
so
Yeah,
I'm
that's one
forcing
of
them to kind of do the same thing.
I love that. There is a beautiful smile. It's so powerful. I was boarding a flight leaving California, coming back to Texas on Sunday, and the flight agent at the gate, I was smiling. I was smiling so big because I heard someone behind me say something really, really weird. And so I was smiling, and the gate agent said, "Oh, hey, beautiful, you have such a wonderful smile." Now, that gave him a little bit of joy for his moment, his day, but you are absolutely right. A powerful smile, your favorite powerful color, whatever that looks like for you to cultivate your confidence is is what I want you to lean into. Again, it doesn't have to, we're talking about colors and smiling, right? That's not something overwhelming, but it's your unique thing that you need. So I'm going to leave a little bit of time. We have about 10 minutes left before we have the very next session. And I want you to be able to ask me questions. Also, I have on the screen the QR code that you can scan that connects you to me for staying connected to me if you want. Also, as a reminder, if you would like the replay of this session or any of the other sessions I'll be doing today, if you drop your email in the chat, then that will indicate to me that you would like the replays and I will get those to you. So this Ask Me Anything can be about leadership, confidence, or presence. It can really be about anything. As you saw from the initial screen, I'm a business strategist, public speaker, podcaster, all of those things. So if there's anything you would like to ask or a comment you'd like to share, please feel free to do that at this time.
Hi, yes, this is Asha again. I have a question.
Yeah.
So I have a team that I lead that is made up of, it's a small team, but it's two young people. I have a lot of experience in my business. I have a graphic design firm and they've been working for me and they're great. I also teach as an adjunct, so they're actually former students. But I find that I'm having a hard time getting them to be these more confident leaders in their own right. And I try and lead by example. And I'm just curious if you've ever run across something where I think part of it is experience on their end, but also the world that they've kind of just come into because ending their college studies and becoming professionals during the last 4 years, they've been much more kind of on their own as opposed to out in the world. So just curious your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so thank you for your question. The younger, and my husband and I have raised four millennials, so I totally get what you're saying. One of the ways, of our four children, adult children, one of them is a girl. And so she works in the corporate space. She has an architect degree. I'm frequently reminding her to use her voice, to really give her examples and just asking her, so what do you think about that? So I think giving them prompts and examples, because here's the thing I found, they really don't know, right?
Yes.
They really don't know. Like some things we think and we're like, well, how could you not know? They really don't know. So I found that really having that one-on-one conversation when we see that they are, kind of shying back for something or not leaning into something, is just to either stop if you have time in the moment or bring it up later to say, hey, here's what I observed. Here's an example of how you could lean into that and getting their feedback. So what do you think about that? How are you feeling about that? Because oftentimes, again, I find that the thing we saw, they completely like zoop, zoop, never even paid attention to it. So really giving them the prompt and an example of how they could lean in, I think gives them ways to think about it and also builds their confidence, because now that you've brought it to their attention, now they can be looking for it and leaning into it a bit more. But yeah, I think the
Right.
greatest thing I see is they simply don't know. They
That's a
just
great
don't know.
point.
Yeah.
Yes, that they don't know, because we take it as very kind of matter of fact, or we
Yes.
expect it, and so when we don't see it, I find sometimes being a little disappointed. But you're right, I shouldn't be disappointed. They don't know what they don't know. They don't know. So
Absolutely. And that's part of our leadership, is teaching those that don't know to even identify their leadership skills, right? One of the I go to a co-oping space. I'm here in Houston, and one of the interns that was at the space when she first started, she was so shy, so quiet. And every time I had to interact with her, I just pushed her a little bit more, push her. I'd ask her about something and go, well, what do you think? How do you think I should approach it? What do you think? Giving her opportunities to really give me your idea. And then I'm like, all right, let's do that. And she's like, wait, oh, let's just go with it. And I tell you what, 3 months into this internship, we say we've now created a little monster, right? Just her confidence and her ability to speak up and give her thoughts and ideas has grown 1,000%. So keep giving those little nuggets, creating opportunities for them to share and say the things that they need to. I think is a great opportunity for us as leaders with more experience. Thank you for your question. Any other questions or thoughts? We have about 4 minutes before we wrap up. And thank you for those of you that have shared your emails in the chat. Again, when I send out the replay, I have 4 more sessions that I'm doing this morning. When I send the replay, I'll send all 5 of them in total. And then you can watch them all or just use the ones that you need. So that will be what we have. Here's my final thought that I want to leave with you. This is one of my Maven quotes that I have created, and it says, you are CPR. That means you are capable, prepared, and ready for your very next step. So I know we sometimes get overwhelmed with, we're at step 10 and we're all worried about step 20. Like, what do I need to do? If you're at step 10, you are prepared, CPR, capable, prepared, and ready for step 11. So take your very next step. Step 19 is going to prepare you for step 20. Don't worry about 20 yet. Just do the very next step. All right. Thank you, ladies, so much. And gentlemen, if you're in the room, for joining us. Thanks for dropping your emails. I have all of those, and we will make sure that we have all of those captured. I want to make sure that this is saving those. There we go. Got the chat saved. Listen, ladies, have the most amazing rest of day. Enjoy all of your additional sessions. Kudos to you, those of you that might actually be in New York getting to do in person. You are very welcome. Thank you for joining us, for joining me. And I look forward to maybe the next session. The next session, I'm going to be talking about smart ways to bootstrap and good ways to plan. I call it your quit strategy before you leave the corporate space, if that's something that you desire. Enjoy your next session.